It's turned into a misty Saturday night here in Rockford at the USA Ultimate National Championships. We're set for the fourth and final semifinal of this Saturday, and the evening primetime matchup features Denver Molly Brown, the 3 seed, and the defending national champs Boston Brute Squad, the 2 seed this season. Earlier today in the adjacent field, Fury fought back and forced a universe point, but the Seattle Riot gets the job done, 15-14, so Seattle awaits the winner of Boston and Denver. And we welcome you back to Rockford, everybody. Evan Lepler with Robin Wiseman, and Boston Brute Squad finally rose to the top of the mountain last year. They're very similar to how they were a year ago. Denver Molly Brown, they've certainly taken a step forward. Can they take a step to where they've never been before, the championship game?
Molly Brown has been, improving constantly throughout the season, making some semifinals appearances throughout the high-level tournaments. They've cruised through most of their competition thus far, and Boston will give them quite the challenge.
Well, Denver Molly Brown, led by Joe Durst, made it to the semis last year, fizzled out there. The talent that this team has put together is very impressive. Octavia Payne has won national titles. Alicia White has won national titles. Lisa Pitt-Caithley has won national titles. Claire Chastain has not. She's won a world championship, but she has really taken her game to a new level as the leader of this team.
And Claire Chastain is definitely a steady handler behind the disc, and she distributes the disc so well. On a team that, everyone's asked to do everything, Claire is always around the disc and definitely touches it the most.
She's going to have a big role tonight. On the other side of the field, Boston Brute Squad, Ariel Jackson, Mike Zalisk, the leaders of this team that is very, very deep, has a lot of interesting stories. Many players represented Team USA, and Leanne Hoffman has a sizzle about her game. She's not the most talkative player, but she does her talking on the field with the way she plays.
Yeah, Leanne, when you look at her, isn't very assuming, but she is one of the fastest, quickest, most explosive players in the game. Her throwing repertoire really allows her to, rise above a lot of the other strong cutters on this Boston Brute Squad team.
Boston Brute Squad trying to get back to Championship Sunday. If they do, it'll be a rematch with Seattle Riot from a year ago, but Denver Molly Brown has some other ideas. Opening pull of the final game of semifinal Saturday when we come back. The 2016 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by Discraft Ultrastar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Discraft Ultrastar now available at over 1,900 U.S. retail locations, including all Dick's Sporting Goods and Hibbett Sports stores. By 5 Ultimate, apparel made specifically for Ultimate players by Ultimate players. Visit 5ultimate.com for everything from Discraft Ultrastars to jerseys, shorts, and custom team uniforms. And by the Women's Sports Foundation, ensuring quality and leadership opportunities for girls and women through sports. Here are the starting lineups for this Under the Lights semifinal. Cross, Cousins, Pitt-Caithley, Lambert, Chastain, Payne, and Alicia White, who has won 7 national championships with a couple different teams. Boston Brute Squad, a lot of the familiar names from last year. Cassie Wong has made so many great plays. Lauren Sadler as well. Juliana Werfeli, a newcomer this year. She's teammates at Dartmouth with Angela Zhu. They might go against their teammate Jacqueline Verjou of Seattle Riot if Boston can get through this one. But it's not going to be easy. And you were saying before the game, Robin, that you think the conditions are conducive for Molly Brown. Why?
Molly Brown is, in terms of the way that they use their roster, everyone really is expected to play all positions. So, it gives them a lot of flexibility to take advantage of any mismatches on the field, or if someone's being poached. It's very impressive that every player on the Molly Brown team feels comfortable stepping back to handle, pushing up to cut. It's very dangerous and very difficult to scout.
Can Molly Brown put it all together and knock off, I was going to say the established power, but I think Fury and Riot are the 2 established powers. Even after winning a title, Boston Brute Squad certainly doesn't have the historic legacy of Fury or Riot. A Boston women's team does have a great legacy. That'd be Lady Godiva. Brute Squad obviously has great accomplishment trying to cement their status at the top of the women's ultimate world over the next 20 hours or so.
We'll see them start out on defense with a very young core of defenders.
There's a decent amount of youth on both these teams, along with some seasoned vets. Opie Payne connects with Lisa Pitcaithley coming over from San Francisco Fury. Of course, Opie Payne won a pair of national titles with DC Scandal. Here's Claire Chastain. She's picked up aggressively on the mark by Angela Zhu. Contact downfield. It's.
I'm sorry, let's double check who called that. You called it. You again. So defensive, no contest. Yeah.
Sadler and Payne, they've been teammates together in our nation's capital.
And also recently with Team USA.
Lots of USA connections on this team, just like almost everybody.
Paige Applegate saved that possession. You know, Claire Chastain may have rushed that a bit, but Paige Applegate, she has kept their offense moving.
Pitcaithley picks up the assist, and Molly Brown a clean first offensive point. Megan Cousins has the opening score.
Megan Cousins has been an up-and-coming player who's really deserved a lot of the attention that she's received. You know, played with the All-Star Tour last year. Really has led the Molly Brown offense in scoring and attacking spaces near the end zone. Pitcaithley just puts a beautiful around backhand throw right to Cousins, right for the bread in the breadbasket, and Molly Brown's on the board in one possession.
Megan Cousins had a shoulder injury at regionals. Her status for nationals was a little in question, but she's a gamer, and she has battled through it. One thing Molly Brown has not been immune from, though, is the injury bug. Lisa Pitcaithley, she's healthy, but a member of the USA women's national team and a key member of the handling corps for Molly Brown for several years now, Dina Slattery, broke her wrist a couple weeks ago. Has not played all weekend. Certainly a huge loss for this Molly B team.
Yeah, and Dina really, her attitude, at times, you know, she's very level-headed, but so positive, bringing a lot of great energy to a Molly Brown team that's very fiery.
Another promising young player for Molly Brown, Kirsten Johnson, tore her ACL back earlier this year. First O point for Brute Squad interrupted. The deep shot intended for Hoffman, knocked away by Davis.
The window that Leila Tunnell attacked with that hook, you know, it was a little bit small. She could have went to that other side of the end zone and made that catch a lot easier.
There's a juggle, but securing possession as Molly Brown looks for the opening break. It's interesting, in each of the two men's games, the underdog went up 2-0 in the first half. Ring did it to Revolver. Bravo did it to Ironside. And this is an uncontested foul.
Foul, no contest, coming in one.
Becky Malinowski commits the foul, and it's back into the hands of Sarah Taggart. I think fair to say Molly Brown's certainly an underdog in this game. I'm not sure they're a substantial underdog, but the national champs from a year ago are certainly the favorite. Taggart finds Payne, and she'll take a shot. Lauren Bacher had a chance, but could not make the catch. Beg your pardon, that was Becca Miller in the end zone for Molly Brown, who could not come up with it. Credit Laura Bitterman with the defense. The other way, that throw is going to be a little too hot.
Laura Bitterman is one of the fastest receivers in the women's game and still can't quite catch up to that one. I liked that she developed that cut, you know, pretty early, trying to hit her, you know, early in that cut, but just a little bit too fast.
Active mark by Leila Tunnell.
Leela Tunnell, her mark, I mean, for those of you wanting to get better at marking watching this game, Leela she stares into Claire Chastain's eyes and works to, you know, shut down those spaces she's trying to attack. I love how much she moves her feet.
Davis, who got the first D of the point, connects with her old Scandal teammate Opie Payne. And now Chastain just shy of midfield. Both these teams have a lot of players that really like to shoot it long.
Yes, and they have such great control over the edges on the disc, and they hit big spaces, and they play very exciting ultimate. So these conditions are great for both teams' offense.
Probably as little wind as we've had all tournament so far at this exact moment. Alicia White has been in plenty of big games in her career, as Becca Miller narrowly makes the catch with Bitterman nearby. Payne connects with Chastain. And just past the diving Alicia White.
Alicia White, as a receiver, she reads every disc so well and takes the best angle and throws her body out there. And if she can't come up with a play, it's
Tunnell,
you know it's out there.
Launching, Malinowski accelerates to run it down. Malinowski's a pretty unique player for her role on this Brute Squad team, but wow, Leanne Hoffman let it slip right through her fingers. 5 turnovers on this point, the second of the match. And Molly Brown takes a timeout to recharge the batteries a little bit. Some pretty good action and some missed opportunities from both teams. You had Payne fire a little too low, a little too hot for White. On the other side of the field, Malinowski on the simple reset to Hoffman, 2 national team players with an early Jeter type of mistake. Boston Brute Squad won it all last year. Molly Brown, this really a young program. Molly Brown founded in 2010. In their team bio, they're asked to list the championships they've won. And in that section, Molly Brown wrote, "Looking at you, 2016.
I love that forward-thinking attitude, especially with some of these younger players that they've recruited.
There's the early D from Crystal Davis.
Leela Tunnell's backhands are just so powerful.
There's not much in the sport she hasn't accomplished. Winning her first club title last year. Chastain avoids the poach of Malinowski. Tunnell went to race downfield, catching up with Lauren Boyle. Payne keeps it alive. And then throws it away. Miscommunication between Payne and Taggart. 6 turnovers on this point.
A lot of Molly Brown's turnovers have come from their handlers, either with resets or swings or putting it out to space.
Malinowski just got that foot in bounds. Sneaks it through to Tunnell. She was there. And again, not an easy catch to make, but one you'd expect her to come down with.
This Brute Squad offensive line has been so solid, so steady, with few turnovers this entire week. And it's very uncharacteristic to see this many turnovers from the Brute Squad O-line.
Yeah. Starts to be contagious. Can Brute Squad punch in this long point? This would be an offensive hold. And Hoffman's throw not on target for Kim Kolpin.
She tries to put that very skinny inside-out backhand, you know, right in front of her, but, you know, it is a little bit wet outside. That's a hard catch to make.
Brute Squad has had halves of ultimate with fewer turnovers than they've had on this point.
Molly Brown's offense is just getting so many easy yards under.
And a quick release. Opie Payne runs it down, tumbles, and celebrates the Molly B break. It wasn't easy. But after 9 turnovers, 5 from Brute, 4 from Molly, it's Denver that takes a 2-zip lead.
And Becca Miller, her backhand around out to space, she has such a fantastic backhand. I think her throwing set is really underrated. We think of her as just a pure athlete, but she puts her body out there, boxes out Bitterman, gets right up, and makes a great decision attacking that opposite side of the field to a wide open Opie Payne.
Becca Miller used to play in the mixed division with CLX, Chad Larson experience. She came up through the Iowa State Women's Scorn program, now out in the Rocky Mountains. And you know, Opie Payne was telling me the other day about Becca Miller and said she's humility embodied. You know, she never looks for the credit, but she just continues to churn out the right play over and over again.
And Becca Miller is a player that I've had quite an opportunity to watch develop. You know, I've had to play against her in college. I've gotten to see her really develop into this really powerful player who does such a great job of empowering her teammates on the field, letting them make plays, and then giving them the credit, you know.
Molly Brown getting past traffic and Scandal and pool play and quarters respectively. Now right now on this Boston offensive point, basically the Brute Squad starting D is on the field. And Shelly Cohen will anchor the effort in the handling core.
Something really interesting about this, you know, D-line on offense is both Cammie Groom and Cassie Wong in their former women's teams were the offensive stars.
Claudia Tajima, one of the captains. Downfield for Groom. Cammie Groom played for Nemesis in Chicago in her past. I mentioned Cassie Wong, a product of Bent in New York.
I love those around backhands to space from Cammie Groom. She sets up Werfele to continue around if there's somebody open on that break side.
Into the end zone, Brute Squad not on the board yet. A pick was called. Helped enable Werfele, the 20-year-old, to get open. Excellent defense from Lauren Bacher to prevent Cohen from getting it, but a patented dump swing ends up with Lauren Sadler.
The mark on Cammie Groom is working really hard to take away that around backhand. She hits that inside forehand, leading Cassie Wong to that break side so she can continue something in stride to Lauren Sadler. That is just some great lateral movement in the end zone. Makes it really easy for Brute Squad.
Sadler's moved around a bunch, played with Scandal, played with Riot. Out of American University in DC, originally from the Seattle area, grew up in Mercer Island, Washington.
It also seems every time she, goes to a new team, she just develops her skill set. She learns something new. She adds depth to her game. Just a constant student of the game, and it's, I think, very inspiring for young players who are, trying to improve their game themselves.
Brute Squad really hadn't had a close game in the tournament so far. Beat the top seed in their pool, San Diego Wildfire, who had a tough break before the tournament with Kristen Pajunas, one of their top players, suffering an injury. So she wasn't able to play, but dispatching Nightlock in the quarters to arrive here. Many of the same D-line players out there for Boston. Sophia Hirschkew launches the pull. Sally Lambert. And she was fouled. What does Lambert bring to this Molly Brown O-line?
Sally Lambert has been a mainstay on this Molly Brown team. She has so much experience. She's such a, a level-headed player.
She used to play with Brute Squad.
That she did. She, the one thing that I love watching her play with Molly Brown is that they really give her the disc up high, and she does a lot of great things in the air.
Applegate swings for Chastain, and the gainer upfield. Seems like Payne is always open on the under.
I love the chemistry between Claire Chastain and Opie Payne in that handler set. They just move the disc so effortlessly.
As they illustrate Robbins' point into the red zone. There's a dump swing and a juggle and a drop. Oh, Pitt Caithley had it, lost it, had it again, and lost it again.
Cami Groom applied some pressure right there, and it made Pitt Caithley attack the disc a little bit sooner than she probably needed to.
First turnover for Molly Brown's O-line. Cami Groom airs it out. Great effort on the bid, but Chelsea Murphy could not get there.
Cami Groom does not turn the disc over very often, especially on deep shots. So, she's going to work extra hard to get the disc back on D.
3, up here, 2, 1, disc is it.
Looking long here, it's tipped and intercepted. Groom picks it off after, I believe, Vicky Negus knocked it away. Going the other way. And just shy of the end zone, Wong. It was O'Connell, not Negus, who got the first touch on the previous D. And there's Groom breaking free. That's a break for Boston, and we're even 2-all.
So Cami Groom, picks up that tip off of O'Connell, and she just puts that disc in play right away and busts downfield to get involved in the end zone. Angela Zhu's just composure in the end zone. I mean, like a veteran who's been there so many times, and she's so young.
Is 20 years old, an Amherst, Massachusetts product, and part of a really fun Dartmouth Princess layout team that other women's college ultimate teams should be afraid of. Although I hear Belladonna has a pretty good team coming back next year too.
Yeah.
Certainly well coached.
A lot of great returners coming back for Bella. A lot of great athletes. It's interesting watching Angela Zhu in the college game. She's slicing and dicing against so many different zone offenses. So to see her playing against, a strong person D team like Molly Brown, it's a whole new perspective for, somebody watching her on film.
Cohen launches the pull. Once again, it's Lauren Bacher. There's her older sister, Emily, still part of the leadership of Brute Squad, not playing this year, expecting her first child in December, I believe. But this is dangerous territory for Molly Brown. You know, Brute Squad can string breaks together, and you can be down 4 or 5 breaks before you know it. On plays like that. Lauren Sadler may not be the biggest one on the field, but she's got heart. And she plays at a height that belies her size.
Yeah, Becca Ludford has the disc on this end zone line, and there weren't a lot of options, you know, on that right in front of her in that space. You know, as a good bailout high stall option, she looks across the field. You know, Sadler just reads it perfect. I love that she can just get up over someone who's bidding into space like that. What a play.
Caitlin O'Connell very excited as the trailer. If it had tipped off Sadler, O'Connell would have been there. Already a couple goals for Sadler and 3 straight scores for Boston.
The best thing about Lauren Sadler is her play is contagious. Whatever team she's on, she lights a fire under all of her teammates.
Becca Ludford has a past in the Midwest under the tutelage of Robin Wiseman.
I wouldn't say that. She, you know, I had the opportunity to play with her in 2012, and we actually played in the same pod system on Heist. She's a fantastic receiver, just such great hands, reads the disc so well. I loved playing with Becca, and when she left, it was, you know, along with a couple other Brute Squad a couple other players to go play for Brute Squad.
Now in her 3rd year in Boston. Brute Squad lost in the semis 2 years ago. And won it all last year.
It's the first junk look, it looks like, from Brute Squad. Cami Groom's such a dangerous deep in a zone. She's so speedy to close, you know, close that gap and apply pressure. She takes a slightly better line, you know, maybe bids 1 or 2 steps sooner. She might be able to make that play without any sort of contact.
We'll stay here. It's only 1.
Through the years, Robin, we've seen championships in the women's division won in bunches. Before Brute Squad won last year, Scandal won the previous 2. And obviously San Francisco Fury won the 7 before that. Seattle Riot won the 2 before that. And while Fury won in 03, Lady Godiva won the 3 years before that. There was contact on that throw, and it's coming back.
Oh, no contest. Sally Lambert with the disc for Molly.
There was a pick downfield, but the throwaway nullifies the turnover.
We'll see Angela Zhu pick up the disc again. Note that she's handling right now with her college teammate, Juliana Werfley. I think they both just finished their sophomore year in college, playing in semifinals.
Stalk count was rising. She had to launch it, and it falls incomplete. Switching fields on an end zone shot. Payne came back to it. She beat Shira Klein to the disc without much of an angle. And Alicia White's got the goal.
That grab by Opie, and she just elevated and attacked that disc. It was, and then to make the decision to reset the disc after making a play like that is not always easy.
It looked like Klain had the angle there, and Payne just kind of went around her.
And then you get to see her just reset the disc to Claire Chastain, who just, that around backhand to space, it's unstoppable.
Speaking of unstoppable, A1, a 5-time champ from 06 to 10 with Fury, and then won 2 more titles with Scandal, 13 and 14. Ho-Hum, she was also a college champ back in 2002 with UC San Diego. She grew up throwing the Frisbee, really had no idea what Ultimate was until she randomly, as she remembers, saw a flyer as a freshman at UCSD. And not to claim that I have anything in common with Alicia White, but that's basically how I found Ultimate, by finding a flyer and for no particular reason heading to the quad and falling in love with the sport. I think that's how a lot of people discover it.
I was recruited at intramurals. I didn't see a flyer. I had no idea that there's a club sport, and someone got me playing intramurals.
Played varsity softball in college for a year before making the transition to Ultimate.
You know, it's a lot more running. I enjoyed being outside and running around.
Is a lot more running a good thing?
I think so. It's pretty satisfying.
Malinowski takes a chance. Wow.
There was so much space on the break side. You know, I love that look. It's super aggressive early in the stall count. Molly Hallweaver, you know, caught her defender poaching her underneath, attacked that break side, all that space. Malinowski just lofts it up, puts a good amount of edge on it. So it's a pretty easy catch for Hallweaver because she had that separation.
Brute Squad cannot have any more letters in a scoring connection than Malinowski to Hallweaver to take a 4-3 lead on a turnover free point. Molly Hallweaver, her second year with the team, but didn't play last year, so she's looking for her first championship.
She adds just another tall receiver, you know, to Boston's offense. She has such a knack for finding that kind of separation when her throwers have the disc. Just such great awareness about when to attack the break side, when to attack, you know, the open side deep, and taking great angles to make that throw easy.
Shelly Cohen to pull once again. Molly Brown gets it to Payne this time. Applegate and Payne in the handler core. And a tough catch made by Pitcatley on the under. Lizzie Laurie, the sister of Ben. They both wear number 42 for Denver teams. Chastain with her first touch of the point. And now it's Laurie. Oh, goodness. Thankfully, Applegate and Heath both pop right back up.
Both of them are very physical players on both sides of the disc, actually. So I'm not surprised that, you know, contact is happening in this matchup.
Foul contest. What was the stock on it here? Game 5.
Hammaker, Meyer, Wong, and Driscoll. The orange-shirted crew for the finale tonight. Oh, and a tremendous toe tap from Pitcatley. She's in. She was getting ready to tap the disc back down and look for the assist. But little did she know the goal was already in her grasp.
It's great body awareness by Pitcatley to, you know, try and get those feet down in the goal. on an awfully difficult throw. Lindsay Cross puts that into a pretty small space. She could have flattened it out and put it out by the cone a little bit more, but Pitt-Caithley makes a great grab.
You might call Pitt-Caithley a glittery player.
You know, she's just flashy as a person and a player. She's got a lot of swagger. You know, she's just she is on fire when you watch her on the field. You can't help but watch her and just kind of fall in love with how she plays the game.
When she played for UCSB, she did everything. And it was an interesting situation because she was the dominant thrower, she was the dominant receiver. She had some decent teammates, but she used to work so hard in those college games. Not to say she doesn't work hard, but it's a different role. She lets other cutters do their thing. She's not making every other throw.
Yeah, the other thing was when she was in college, she'd work hard, but it looked so effortless. I feel like when I see her working now, she looks like she's working hard. And I really admire that and how she's evolved as a player and that maturity.
Easy 25 yards so far, up to Hoffman, where the offense stagnates just a little bit, and Hoffman's throw sails over the head of Amber Sinecrope, the longest tenured member of Brute Squad. Sinecrope in her 11th season. She started very young. She's been good for a while, but she might be better than she's ever been, unable to make that last catch.
Claudia Tajima and Amber Sinecrope are two of the strongest handler defenders in the women's game.
Great effort by White, but the throw out of her reach. You know, one thing to keep note of, Robin, it feels like Chastain, Payne, White primarily have been on the field almost every point. Boston, on the other hand, has mixed it up more. I think it's fair to say Brute Squad does have the advantage in depth, and that'll be something to watch. Not necessarily when it's 4-4, but more so when it's 12-12. If it is tied so late.
Especially with all of the different momentum changes thus far in the game.
Bitterman tried to reset it to Sinecrope, but it was knocked down. I beg your pardon, it was intended for Tennell. Davis, after 3 fakes, overshoots Taggart, and she was open. Here's Tajima. When that went up, it looked really dangerous, but it easily falls down to Hoffman.
It's that kind of trust that Tajima has, you know, in her teammates, having played with this same offensive core for so long.
Well, trying to trust Malinowski, and Becky had her hand on it. She attacked it the right way, but just could not bring it in.
I mean, anytime you have Alicia White, you know, patrolling in that help deep space, you have to go up aggressively and maybe take a slightly different angle so that you can't let Alicia White make a play on the disc. That's a woman who knows how to take an aggressive line to make a play on defense.
Hoffman intercepts the shot. Brute Squad looking for Hoffman, and she's got it. Tanya Reitz was right there, but Hoffman makes the play.
Opie Payne didn't have any, you know, options until really late in the stall count. Leon Hoffman able to go coast to coast there for, you know, the bookend score there. That swing from Leila Tennell, you know, totally changed the angle of attack. Amber Sinecrope had no mark, and, you know, just put that up there knowing that Leanne Hoffman was going to come down with it.
Well, judging by the number of turnovers, that was the second sloppiest point of the half so far. But after 3 turnovers per side, Hoffman hauls it in for the Boston Brute Squad hold.
Again, I'm very shocked at how many turnovers this Brute Squad offensive line has had this game. They're typically known for, you know, being a one-and-done kind of O-line and have operated like that all season long. So some credit should go to Molly Brown for kind of upsetting that offensive rhythm that Brute Squad has found easily thus far this season.
A 20-year-old Werfele with a monstrous pull.
A lot of hang time.
And Brute Squad sets up the D. Pitt Caithley gets past Zhu in the under. Wong, rather. And up line, it's Chastain. Directing traffic with one hand, launching the flick with the other. And one player tumbled, but the possession was saved. Kept alive by Paige Applegate. You like what you're seeing from the downfield spacing here from Molly B?
You know, they're struggling to find some rhythm for those immediate continues, but the handlers are having no problems resetting the disc until an easier option opens up.
Second assist for Claire Chastain, a turnover free hold to tie it at 5 as Lindsey Cross gets in the book.
Paige Applegate saves that first, you know, possession for Molly Brown, and you know, you get a chance to watch Paige Applegate and Claire Chastain work it a little bit until, you know, there's that pretty open option in the end zone. Lindsey Cross just changes directions and catches Elena Schwamm kind of poaching in that open side lane for a nice, easy, you know, high release inside backhand. Such a smooth throw by Claire Chastain.
Through 10 points, not much different between these two teams.
These two teams are very similar in the sense that they've rebuilt as programs, kind of getting some newer faces in their programs and rising to the top of the elite women's club ultimate scene.
And once again, a lot of the familiar faces out there. Cross, who just caught the score, racing down, along with Pitt Caithley and White. Chastain and Payne out there too. Taggart and Miller on the defensive point for Molly Brown.
Pitt Caithley's such an effective mark in this zone.
4-person cup, really trying to close off anything upfield. And the Scoober, so effective in that situation from Tennell.
Especially with no wind. What great conditions to see her range of throws to break that zone down.
Tennell really has come arguably the premier thrower in the women's division.
She has every throw. She's so calm.
Just a commanding presence, but wow, Lindsey Cross rips it away.
It's hard to get the disc over a defender like Lindsey Cross. She's so good in the air.
Up the line to Chastain. Underneath, Miller fumbles it away.
I love that Leela Tennell fakes so aggressively to move her mark and get that swing off even easier. Changing that field again for Brute Squad.
And there's a good shot, connecting with Amber Sinnecrope. Unforced turnover here.
Becca Miller makes a great second attempt, but she's got to reel that in. that goal was all possible because Leela Tunnell swung the disc off the line. You know, changed the whole field and let Amber Sinekroop stretch it deep from that open side, attacking the break side space. Such an easy throw for Leon Hoffman.
Sinekroop went to Smith College.
She also spent a semester at the University of Wisconsin, was all region in the central region, I think in 2009.
They love their ultimate in Madison.
That we do. It's actually the biggest summer league in the U.S. We've got a huge Swiss-style league on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
What is a Swiss-style league?
It's where you, it's a Swiss draw league. It's the same format as Windmill Windup.
Okay.
So the better your team plays, the better your opponents become. It kind of, you can take like 100-some teams and create one league where it's paired to similar level competition.
Very cool. Lambert, Payne kept it alive. I think Lambert would have called a foul and did call a foul. Brood Squad's arguing the throw is down. It's probably going to be Brood Squad's Molly Brown's disc regardless. And it is coming back to Lambert.
Thank you. Everyone here set? When you're ready.
Right up that near sideline. Payne, cross field. It kept the edge enough. Opie Payne fired up, connecting with Lambert to tie it at 6.
Got a little bit aggressive on that celebration, Opie Payne and Sally Lambert. Opie almost knocked Sally down.
She's a fiery player.
Yeah, that crossfield blade, you know, she's lucky there weren't any defenders in the way. It's a very risky throw, but, you know, no one was in that line of sight, so she was able to just lead Sally Lambert right to the front corner of that end zone.
And after the point, Lambert and Payne. Well, you don't want to get hurt on a celebration. That is one of the no-nos in sports. But every year or so, you see a couple guys in the NFL do something silly and cost themselves a couple of weeks by headbutting a wall or doing a dance after a sack. It's good to celebrate when you make a play, but you want to do it safely so you can make another.
And that was a big point to celebrate, too, a one-possession offensive possession.
Sure was.
There was no turns. It was clean, quick, effective. The type of offense Molly Brown wants to run.
12 points in this first half. Half of them have been clean, turnover-free points.
And the other half, not so clean.
Tunnell winds it up. Hoffman in pursuit. Got it.
Leela Tunnell has such control over that inside-out backhand huck. She can just put it out super fast so it just floats right in front of Leon Hoffman. That was a beautiful throw.
Another turnover-free point.
Tunnell, yeah, she uses that forehand fake to generate some momentum on that pull.
Did Claire Chastain make a mistake there on guarding the mark? She was really pressuring that reset, but because of that, Tunnell kind of baited and got that upline throw and then was in power position to launch the huck to Hoffman.
You know, a lot of times, you know, teams will try and vary the pressure that they apply to the handlers, you know, by trying to force them out of the handler set. I mean, you want to take a player like Leela Tunnell out of the backfield and force her upfield to cut, you know, get them out of that primary option with Leela Tunnell quarterbacking that offense.
Good start for Hoffman. And Tunnell with her 6th assist of the weekend. Brute Squad really spreads the disc around. It's a little surprising she doesn't have more, but it speaks to the depth of this team. If Boston breaks, Brute can take it to half. Juliana Werfeli with another massive pull. And it's Applegate in command. Upfield, taken away by Groom. That throw had no chance. Here's Cassie Wong. Chelsea Murphy. Tight spaces around the goal line. Big catch by Zhu. And Groom. To the end zone. No. Oh, nearly a Callahan. But a foul was called on the throw, and it's coming back.
Looked like there was some contact when Applegate, tried to step around her mark there.
Give it as a foul contest or come to me for a ruling, either of you. Okay, so my ruling, you're in a legal marking position, so it is a foul. It's coming here on one. Okay.
Oh. So the foul on Klein upheld. Molly Brown has 70 yards to go. Now about 74 yards to go.
Looks like the Cutters are having a hard time, finding some rhythm down there and getting into flow.
Been impressed by Brute Squad's active marks. They're big, they're active, they're making the downfield throws difficult. Almost every mark is starting straight up and then shifting into what looks like a forced middle mark after a couple counts. And there's a D.
Now that's a tactic that Brute Squad's really been developing the last few seasons, and a lot of other women's teams are starting to pick up on that flatter mark. Really does change the way that, the thrower can see the field, and it applies pressure in some very interesting ways to that thrower.
And it forces the Cutters to recognize, because they need to make their movements a little different to get open downfield. Halftime. Cami Groom from Lauren Sadler.
Sheer Klein just, she jumps in that lane for a second or two and hurries up and gets back to apply the pressure and get that D. Gets the disc to Sadler. Sadler moves her mark, uses those fakes super effectively. And Cami Groom's just wide open on that break side.
If you would please direct your attention.
That's a big break to take the half from Cami Groom and Boston Brute Squad.
For the presentation of the Peavy Characters Spirit of the Game Award.
It was an ugly start for the Boston offense. They had 5 turnovers on their first offensive point, got broken. It was 2-zip Molly Brown. But as we've seen in each of the last couple semifinals, the favorite falls behind 2-0 and then kind of clicks it into gear, a sense of urgency perhaps, along with a ton of talent that made them the favorite to begin with.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of Opie Payne, in that handling set with Claire Chastain, to fuel a good comeback in the second half by Molly Brown. They work so effectively to keep that offense moving and create space downfield.
The lines have been pretty tight for Molly Brown, and I think that last point, you can kind of see the Brute Squad defense making as much of an impact as it made at any point in the half.
Yeah, when you have defenders like Cassie Wong and and Cami Groom downfield, it really changes the options that your cutters are getting. You know, Molly Brown has been used to getting big yards in the middle of the field with, you know, some of their offensive looks, and when every other cut it's Cami or Cassie on defense, can't get anything.
Now we have the privilege of catching up with Denver Molly Brown coach Joe Durst. Coach, your thoughts on that first half? Interesting back and forth action.
Absolutely. We're in a dogfight now. Who you got up there with you, Evan?
Well, Robin Wise.
Oh, it's
right
Robin.
Here, and she's got a tough question for you, I'm sure.
Yes.
So, Joe, will we see more of Opie Payne in that handling set, you know, with doing work with Claire Chastain in this next half?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to change that system up now.
You guys obviously have relied on your studs playing Chastain, White, Payne, Miller, Pitcaithley, a lot of points in that first half. How do you think they'll hold up as the game gets in the latter stages?
Just fine. This one game a day format is really helping them out, and I think we play to our depth.
And last thing, what will you tell the team at halftime about any adjustments you have to make?
We basically talked about where we were compared to last year in this situation, and everybody is lighthearted and happy, and we are going to keep that up.
Well, I hear you bring a light, goofy attitude to the team, and it's been fun watching you in the sidelines this season. Joe, good luck in the second half.
Hey,
thanks for joining us. That's the head coach of Denver, Molly Brown, brought in to lighten things up, and they certainly have been loose, but as things get a little tighter on semifinal Saturday, it's natural for nerves to pop up. The defending champs from Boston lead Denver Molly Brown by 2 at the break. After falling behind 2-0, Boston Brute Squad closes the first half on an 8-4 rally. An exciting first half that featured a lot of clean points and a few very sloppy points, but some really nice throws. Early it was Pitcaithley connecting with Megan Cousins, and then later Claire Chastain working it up to Becca Miller, who would find Opie Payne in the end zone. That capped the longest point of the half and made it 2-0, but then Brute Squad found its rhythm.
Yeah, Brute Squad started attacking the break side, you know, swinging the disc, finding wide open options. A lot of cross-field shots from both teams in the end zone.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
You know, just where the spaces are in those high stall count situations. And, you know, players have been making some great plays in the air to keep those possessions alive for both teams.
Claire Chastain, very solid distributing the disc. Alicia White, even in her mid-30s, doing work downfield. That shot from Malinowski was maybe the most impressive throw of the half, just because she needed to have the vision to get it there.
And the touch and putting it out with the right edge.
That throw was almost teed up by Tanya Reitz, but Hoffman made the catch. Later, Chastain showing just an innate ability to break that mark. And then Hoffman trusting Amber Sinecrope. Teammates on Team USA. Leela Tennell was another.
Just putting that disc out so early on a platter, right, for Leanne Hoffman to run down. Lauren Sadler just so effective at moving, you know, Lori on the mark. Much taller than she is. It just makes that throw so easy to take that half.
I was going to ask you, is Sadler one of the toughest players to guard, but then she threw it to Cami Groom, and you have Leanne Hoffman. Obviously, that's what makes Boston tough. Their versatility in the number of cutters that can do damage downfield. That's why they're the defending champs, trying to meet Riot again tomorrow. They're 7 points away from doing just that. The defending champs from Boston, Massachusetts, leading Denver Molly Brown 8-6 at the half, and we're joined by a former Brute Squad player, probably a future one as well, Emily Bacher. Thanks for taking a few minutes. What were your thoughts on how your team responded to the early 2-0 deficit in that first half?
Well, it was pretty clear that we came out a little bit maybe too excited, or on the nervous side of excited. And once we got our D out there and got our legs under us, we were much more comfortable, which is pretty much usually the case with us.
You've been such a vocal leader for this team in the past. Has anything changed this year in how vocal you've been from the sidelines or in the huddle?
A little bit. I definitely choose my moments more. I haven't been able to be at everything, so I try and be judicious with the amount of speaking I do, because we have a lot of voices out there. So I try and see when I'm needed and say what needs to be said.
As one of the most accomplished, handlers in the women's game, how fun is it to have the opportunity to mentor players like Juliana Werfele and Angela Zhu so early in their careers?
We're so lucky to have them. I mean, I feel incredibly lucky to be coaching them in some way. I mean, they're so responsive and just work so hard, and their defense is great, which makes a coach happy.
Ibe, any major tactical adjustments in the second half, offensively or defensively, or does it just keep staying the course?
I think we need to work the unders a little bit more on offense. We've been definitely shooting for the end zone, and we can take easier shots than that. And defensively, we have to trust our marks and take away the unders like we always do.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
That's Emily Bacher, 2015 national champion, trying to help out Brute Squad to another title from the sidelines. Robin is a big fan of Emily Bacher. You can get that sense pretty quickly. 8-6 is the score. Brute Squad is on offense when we come back. Quick recap of the first half, scoring summary. What stands out, certainly the depth of Boston Brute Squad. 8 different players with assists in that first half. Robin, Brute Squad with 3 breaks in the half of Ultimate.
They're playing so well defensively, applying pressure at all the right times. I like how they're really varying their handler pressure with those flat marks, jumping in the lanes, then tightening up, sometimes forcing a Molly Brown handlers upfield. Really making this game exciting.
Just one half of Ultimate remaining here on semifinal Saturday.
You see Molly Brown with some more of those familiar faces. Leisha White, Opie Payne coming out on D.
The mixed final is set, a regional rematch. Metro North and Slow White. The men's final is set, rematch of 2010 and 2011. Boston Ironside, San Francisco Revolver. And one of these two teams, Boston or Denver, will meet Seattle Riot to complete the triple header of championships tomorrow. Boston just trying to play clean offense and punch in an opening hole to start the second half. And they do. A pick was called. It's coming back. Hoffman saved Cami Groom, who launched it just a little too far. Although not for Leanne.
Cami Groom and Leanne Hoffman are very good friends, so it's always fun when you get to see them play points together, which doesn't happen a whole lot with the Boston system that they run with their O-lines and D-lines.
Stall count was at 4 as play resumed. Well, Hoffman not in the end zone this time, but again broke free to the open side and then right back to her buddy. Hoffman the assist, Groom the goal, and it's the largest lead of the day for Brute Squad.
Both Leanne and Cami are so effective at getting open in small spaces and finding a way to just make such a small space look even more open than it is. You see Lauren Boyle, was there to potentially get, try and make a poach D on Cami Groom, but I like that she pulled back and didn't, make an unsafe bid, at the space that Cami Groom is attacking. Cami wouldn't have been able to see her coming, and I thought that was a really good, no bid by Boyle.
Couple goals, couple dimes for Leanne Hoffman. Really strong coaching staff for Boston Brute Squad. Ariel Jackson, the leader, but Mike Zalisk, who was the leader a couple years ago, a great player back in his day, won a Callahan Award with Tufts. Ariel Jackson does a lot of the X's and the O's, the strategic planning. Mike Zalisk, much more of a mental skills coach, discussing mentality, culture. And then you have Emily Bacher, who I know you've had a lot of interesting and meaningful ultimate conversations with through the years.
Yeah, Emily Bacher and I spoke at 2014 Club Worlds, where she was playing with Riot, you know, some of her, you know, biggest opponents right now in the women's game. And
Keithley takes a shot. She rushed it just a bit, though.
I like the space she was attacking, but maybe not, you know, such a hard edge on the disc. If she flattens that out, she can give her receiver an opportunity to make a play.
Zhu whistles it ahead for Sadler. Active mark from Payne. Bullet downfield for Ludford. Great adjustment. Juliana Werfeli. A disc she had no business catching.
And how she was able to catch that without making any contact with either a Molly Brown or a Brute Squad player. What body control.
Ludford too far for Sadler.
But Sadler got up so high and so horizontal. She's so explosive. I mean, look at that. That shoulder high. I mean, almost taller than she is.
Really important point here for the Molly Brown offense. Dodged a bullet as Ludford made the mistake overshooting Sadler.
Megan Cousins just puts that out to space for Chastain.
Sadler closing on it, but Payne was able to get there. A pick in the middle of the field. Don't believe it's going to impact the disc being with Opie Payne. Looking to the end zone. Nice shot.
That's the type of offense that Molly Brown is really known for. Quickly moving the disc and, you know, working it up the sideline until somebody like a Lisa Picaithley can attack that deep space in the middle of the field.
Still a lot of time to go, but 9-7 feels a whole lot different than 10-6, with Brute Squad having scored 4 straight. And it does snap a 3-0 run. The hold to make it 7-6, the break to take it to half, and then the hold to begin the second half.
See if Brute Squad's O-line can be clean and collected and respond in one possession
And
to
the quick hydration. Payne, Picaithley, Chastain getting a drink, staying on the field. Alicia White, Lindsey Cross as well. Robin, I know you've been in this position on teams in your life, playing more points than the opponent top players are playing. What's that like for you, knowing that they might have a little more energy? How do you maximize your effectiveness?
It's really about mental toughness and being able to maintain that intensity. And as soon as the disc is in play, you know, you're not thinking about how tired you are. You're thinking about getting that disc back or making that play. And being willing to just work harder than your opponents, even if you are more tired.
What do you see from this Brute Squad formation right here? Way downfield, Malinowski.
Yeah, they're keeping the field really spread so that they can, if they can get that disc right over the zone, they're going to have the numbers in the middle of the field without the Molly Brown, you know, deep person in that zone able to break up any sort of fast break.
A point like this, really reminiscent of what we saw from Boston last year during their run to the title. And they cap it off with a diving catch in the end zone.
Molly Hallweaver just...
No, she dropped the disc.
Wow.
Oh, it looked good. We'll take a look at the replay when we get a moment. Everything but the finish there for Brute Squad. was a pretty bid, too.
And we get to see, you know, Opie Payne downfield a little bit, too, for the Molly Brown offense.
And she comes back for the reset, marked by Hoffman. Chastain with the long arms of Malinowski marking. Great catch there. Pitcaithly keeps it alive. And then some contact, but doesn't appear. Cross called a foul on Sinacroke.
That move by Claire Chastain, that's one of her signature moves to get open up line. When someone's shutting her down, she can just take that line.
Certainly contact there. As they're adjudicating this, we'll take a look at the previous play. Malinowski looking for Hall Weaver. So close.
Send it back.
And the foul called.
You want to send it back, or you can have it. Oh, okay, my willing to get her behind before you have to disc. That'll tell. Stay there.
Yeah, it looked like there was some contact as that cut was being set up. Even before the bid happened.
Backwards, backwards.
Molly Brown punches it in. That is a break. Big response here from Denver.
Taggart moves her mark, you know, makes her think that she's attacking that inside space, opens that strike lane even more so she can hit Alicia White. Alicia White has had some of the most impressive highlight plays of all time. There's some fantastic women's ultimate highlight videos, and you see Alicia White throwing her body around, you know, so aggressively and just so beautifully.
5'7". Her second year with Molly Brown. She works as a pediatric resident physician at the Children's Hospital in Denver, Colorado. Her ultimate memoir is going to be fascinating to read.
I can't wait to read that, but that would mean that, you know, there has to be an ending, and I don't want to think of a world without Alicia White playing ultimate frisbee.
She's got lots of years to go, that's for sure.
We see Opie Payne staying out again to pull for Molly Brown.
Alicia White does get a rest on this point, so does Lisa Pitcaithly. Chastain's still out there too, though. Tennell, where she's, I beg your pardon, that's Cohen. Groom, Ludford.
Opie Payne thought about going for a bid on that one.
Up the line, Zoo. Tremendous defense from Crystal Davis, preventing Cammie Groom from getting the disc, but the dump swing works to perfection. It's Werfele.
Again, just dump swing offense from Brute Squad in the end zone. Really just getting the disc off that trap side and finding someone wide open at the front of the end zone. Get to see some really beautiful ultimate by Brute Squad in this offensive possession. Cammie Groom gets some huge yards under. Becca Ludford just uses her speed, gets the disc in the middle of the field. Cassie Wong just so collected and composed.
Every single player looks so calm and comfortable when they get the disc. Let me look here, let me look there. Okay, I'll take that.
Everyone's just so so effective at being able to attack the break side with that around forehand, and that's not an easy throw to be able to put out to space, you know, hit somebody, you know, to get it off quickly before that mark gets set, especially in the red zone where it's a higher pressure situation. Just so impressed with Juliana Werfele.
Another Pacific Northwest product. Who's got an incredible career ahead of her. At the college level, at the club level, and presumably at the international level too. In the 26 shirt in black, Alana Schwamm is out on the field for Boston Brute Squad. And on the other side of the field, Cami Groom creates a D. Alana Schwamm's story might be the most compelling in all of Ultimate right now for what she has gone through the past few months. To play here at Nationals is truly improbable and perhaps miraculous.
The women's Ultimate community in general has been, you know, following along and really inspired by her strength throughout this season.
Alana Schwamm, back in late June, diagnosed with stage 3B metastatic malignant melanoma, an aggressive form of skin cancer. Cami Groom celebrates with Schwamm. Everyone on Boston with smiles on their faces, but this tournament and this season has largely been about number 26, who's been getting treatment at Mass General Hospital, where she's actually in the nurse practitioner program right now as well. The fact that she's continued to play, which at one point seemed to be impossible, she's continuing to get treatment, Schwamm is. When she had her first surgery to remove a tumor from her back and under her armpit, she woke up from the surgery, and the surgeon, the doctor, was in the room. And the doctor basically said, Alana, okay, we're done. You're all right. And her first words, can I play Ultimate next weekend? And the doctor said yes. And she had surgery on Friday. By Monday, she was back jogging. She's continuing to go through treatment, dealing with all sorts of side effects. But on September 16th, she wrote in her really well done emotional blog, quote, at this point, there's nothing that's going to stop me from playing at Nationals. And goodness gracious, it's an incredibly inspiring story. And it's impossible not to root for her, both on the field and in her other situation. Molly Brown takes a chance. Oh, and Ledford missed it. White had it and lost it.
Looked like Paige Applegate was trying to, you know, just lead the disc instead of like putting it out in front of White, and it just didn't come off, you know, with the type of power that Paige Applegate is definitely capable of putting behind a forehand hook like that in power position.
Take a look.
Looked like Alicia White just caught the underside of the rim of the disc. Wasn't really able to get her hand, you know, totally around it. But what a read.
So we're coming in 6. We good? Okay. We good back? Fine. Are we good back here? All right, so we're good? Nothing? Okay. On a check.
Nice vision there from Zoo finding Murphy. You know, Shelly Cohen really has done a great job, kind of in the Emily Bacher role from last year as the engine of this D-line.
I had the opportunity to play at layout this year before I tore my ACL with Shelly Cohen, and it was just so fun to get the opportunity to handle and cut with her. She's so versatile, so many great throws.
A Brute Squad turnover gives Molly Brown a chance here.
Nice catch by Lauren Boyle.
Fair to say, Robin, at this stage of the game, it says a lot about a team's energy with the activity of the marks. Another near score.
For such a strong team, you know, when it comes to marking, Brute Squad can just vary the amount of pressure they put on the throwers. Man, Cassie Wong just showcasing her closing speed and ability to read that disc and make a play.
You know, when that first went up, I didn't think Wong got it, but clearly she did nick it on the replay, and Tina Snodgrass could not haul it in after the deflection. Looking long for Christy Kim. How about that shot from Shelly Cohen?
Shelly Cohen.
She tried to throw that to you on the beach at Leia to go way out the back of the end zone.
I think we connected deep pretty well. She was definitely, you know, her backhands in the wind, just untouchable.
Timeout called. Brute Squad trying to stretch its lead. Seattle Riot awaits the winner. During the timeout, quick thought on that Riot Fury game. Riot fell behind 4-1, took half 8-7, stormed out in the second half. It was 14-11. Fury ties it at 14. And at this point, everyone who was at the complex here at Rockford was surrounding this field. It was an incredible atmosphere, two legendary programs with it all on the line on one point, and Riot was able to punch it in. You watched it all.
You know, it's that game is just typical Fury Riot fashion, just momentum changes, you know, athletic, just amazing defensive plays. Get to see so many different types of offensive styles, different zones, different matchups. It was quite a game, and I'm really happy I was able to catch that one. We'll see if Molly Brown will be able to stop the swing in the end zone set from Brute Squad.
Easier said than done. Zoo looked to the dump, then went back upfield. Payne got a piece of it. Nearly kept alive by Ludford as the shot goes up for Snodgrass. She's got it.
That type of quick transition, you know, deep hook from Opie Payne, we've seen that a lot from her.
That's a unfortunate, unforced error there from Davis. About 5.5 minutes away from the soft calf going on.
Yeah, here, it doesn't affect the disc there. Is everyone here set?
Okay, comes in on a check.
Cohen rips it. Cassie Wong accelerating into the end zone for Brute Squad.
Yeah, when we think of Shelly Cohen's deep throws, we often think of her backhands, but she just puts so much power behind that forehand, really engages, you know, with her legs. Puts it out in front of Cassie Wong. We get to see Cassie Wong's incredible closing speed just run that out. A lot of players would have had to bid for that, but Cassie just catches it right in stride.
An unforced turnover out of the hands of Crystal Davis. Set it up. And then Cohen rips it to Cassie Wong. For a split second when that throw went up, I thought to myself, not even Cassie Wong can get there. Because I thought there was a little too much in the throw, and clearly that was a foolish thought to have.
You know, on a stage like this, no one puts on a better show than Cassie Wong. she is so fast, so explosive, and even if she can't run it down, you know that she is going to throw her body out and get to something she has no business getting to. I mean, we've seen it at the U.S. Open. We saw it last year at Club Nationals. All of the big games, she rises to the occasion.
She was a rookie last year as Brute Squad took the title. Previously played with Bent, now 28 years old, out of Brown University. Mistake on the pull for Brute Squad. It sails wide of the sideline. So Octavia Payne will center it. It has been a long season for Opie Payne. Training to try out for Team USA, making Team USA, training to get ready for Worlds, having separate training weekends with Maddie Sang and Andy Loveseth, the leaders of the USA women's team, all different spots in the country, and then going to Worlds, going straight from London to Rhode Island for the US Open, continuing the season. A call here is going to halt play. It has been a long grind for lots of players in really all divisions.
The thing that I loved about Opie Payne's journey this year is she was so vocal and willing to share, you know, on social media, and I think really showcased just how hard she works and how hard these elite athletes work, you know, not just for their club seasons, but for the national team as well. Allie Heath takes an injury, and Allie Heath was somebody who was also selected to go to, you know, tryouts for the national team. And it's really fun to see Allie Heath move over from the mixed game to the women's game and find a role on Brute Squad.
Previously played for Wild Card.
Yeah, and she had been a force as a cutter on their team.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Again, finding a role on the Brute Squad it says something for these elite women.
How did she see that? Great touch to Lori. Now pick Caithfley. Attacked by Chastain. And a stoppage downfield, a foul away from the disc.
These Molly Brown throwers are just, their vision, their control of the disc. You can just see them staring into spaces.
Look at the top of your screen. The flags are barely moving. Some of those over-the-top, cross-field, bladey throws didn't really work the first couple days of this tournament.
No, they would not have gone very far. That's for sure.
Finally, the breeze has settled. And in prime time under the lights. Oh, it was an overthrow. And then it looked like Cross had a chance, but Vicky Negus denied Molly B again.
Nice bid by Schwamm.
Little contact with Lori, but no call. Lori made a good cut there, but it was the mark from Sarah Cook that prevented Chastain from really looking for that throw.
Sarah Cook is a veteran. I mean, she played with Godiva. She's now playing with Brute Squad. She's been around this Boston women's scene for a long time. Been in these big games.
Siren just flared, and after this score from Sally Lambert, the soft cat will go on. So it's 12-9. We're playing a 14. Boston back on offense in a moment.
Not surprised to see Sally Lambert getting open in the end zone. Claire Chastain fakes, moves her mark, puts it out to space to Caithfley. Lori clears out of that space. Sally Lambert just grabs the disc, makes sure that that foot's in the end zone. And Molly Brown cuts that lead down.
That break throw reminded me a little bit of Lisa in college, where she was more of a distributor.
Lisa Picathley's around backhand is unstoppable. She's so long, and her release is just so far away from her body. The amount of touch she's able to put on with the disc to that space, it's just unstoppable. There's no mark that can get out there to stop that around.
Well, look at Opie Payne. She's been in this spot before. A two-time champion at Club Nationals, a world champion this past June in London. This was a timeout called by Molly Brown. You see the right wrist of Dina Slattery. She would certainly be a huge piece to the Molly Brown puzzle if she was available, but she's incredibly supportive. She's got a megaphone.
Again, Dina Slattery brings such a great energy to this Molly Brown team, and the fact that she can stay so engaged and lead her team from the sidelines says a lot about her as an individual. Such a strong personality, but this team really misses her contributions around the disc. She's a great defender, so fiery. She made such an impact with the national team women this year in London.
She'll still be exhausted when this weekend's over, even though she hasn't played a point.
I don't doubt it. She has been so active on the sidelines, going up and down, cheering. She barely has a voice. It's probably why she has that megaphone.
Tanel and Sinacrope play catch. Tajima wide open near side.
That crossfield scooper that Tanel has just early in the stall count out to space. Sinacrope's right there in her wheelhouse.
Pretty impressed by Molly Brown's ability to start in a zone defense and then transition to match up so fast. They look real natural.
Yeah, I love the defenders that they have in that zone. They're so effective at that quick transition, finding good matchups.
Malinowski had Bitterman, but it was a lot of traffic in between the thrower and the target. Over the top of the traffic for the tall tower. Malinowski rips it away.
Becca Miller took a great line at that disc, but Malinowski read it perfectly, got into space early, made sure that Becca Miller couldn't do one of her signature huge layout bids. Just straight up and down, ripped it out of the sky over Taggart and Miller.
She's listed at 5'10". She seems taller than that. Certainly taller than everyone else on that jump ball.
Becky, she attacks the disc at her highest point every time it's in the air, but she has such soft hands. You don't see her, missing the disc or getting it in her hands and just not able to reel it in. If she goes up, she's going to come down with it.
Played her college ultimate back at the University of Michigan a half-decade ago. Also started in the mixed division with Boston Slow White.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to play against Becky. She is a game changer, and finally had the opportunity to play with her with the mixed team this year. She is just so effective at cutting, creating space, and working really well with a variety of different types of players downfield.
It is shaping up to be potentially a pretty big day for the city of Boston and that ultimate community tomorrow. Slow White, Ironside already into the finals. Brute Squad a point away. Earlier today, Slow White ended the championship reign of Minnesota Dragon Thrust, the three-time defending champs in the mixed division. This could do it, and it does. Molly Brown's season comes to a close as Brute Squad looking for a back-to-back. Late in this game, we saw many of the things that made Brute Squad so great a year ago.
Yeah, we had, you know, some cleaner offense after those first few points, some quick transition defense. Cassie Wong, Cammie Groom stretching the field deep off of turns. It's been really fun watching Angela Zhu and Juliana Werfele leave their mark on this semifinal game as such young contributors on the field for Brute Squad.
Well, this was the most Brute Squad was tested here at Nationals, but still a comfortable 14-9 victory. They beat Showdown rival in Wildfire and pool play. Nightlock and Molly Brown are history as Brute Squad surges into the finals. It'll be Boston and Seattle in the women's division for the second straight year on Championship Sunday here at Nationals. Again, the final, Brute Squad 14, Molly Brown 9. We'll be back and hear from the winners in just a moment. The 2016 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by Discraft Ultrastar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Discraft Ultrastar now available at over 1,900 U.S. retail locations, including all Dick's Sporting Goods and Hibbett Sports stores. Buy 5 Ultimate, apparel made specifically for Ultimate players by Ultimate players. Visit 5ultimate.com for everything from Discraft Ultrastars to jerseys, shorts, and custom team uniforms. And by the Women's Sports Foundation, ensuring quality and leadership opportunities for girls and women through sports. Boston Brute Squad fell behind 2-0 in this women's semifinal matchup, but closed the first half on an 8-4 run and then won the second half 6-3, outlasting Denver Molly Brown to win it 14-9. Brute Squad Seattle Riot tomorrow, and Victoria's head coach Ariel Jackson joins us down on the field. Ari, congrats on the win. What were your thoughts on how that one transpired?
Thank you very much. It was a battle. I don't think the score really reflects how close it was. I think we won with our defense on both our O-line and D-line, and just ground away. I mean, you know, they were up early, but we just kept, you know, wearing them down, and you know, I think that gave us an advantage at the end.
The zone defense was really effective at, you know, limiting the Molly Brown yards. You know, how much have you guys used that this weekend with it being as windy? I mean, the transitions looked really smooth.
You know, we really haven't worked on it very much this season. We worked on it a little bit right before Nationals. And honestly, at first we mostly worked on it because we wanted to get our O-line a lot of zone O reps. But we thought it was pretty effective. And then with the wind, you know, we're mostly a person defense team, sort of one-to-one matchups, and put a lot of emphasis on really on marking and bounding up downfield. But with the wind, we threw it in as like kind of a mix, especially on upwind lines to try and get some short field turns. And it's pretty effective, so we had a lot of reps under it, and we wanted to just kind of throw it out tonight and see, you know, maybe we could get like a little bit of a miscommunication turn or something. And Cammie Groom came through right on that first play, got the block, and then, you know, we gave it a couple of more chances, and it was pretty successful. So it was more just kind of like, when we have some reps under it for this weekend, we feel pretty comfortable with it, and let's see if we can just mix it up and keep them on their toes.
All right, I'm not sure if the Dartmouth women are going to look for a coach, but it seems like they have quite a few young, talented players, a couple of them who are really big for you tonight. What can you say about the performances of both Angela and Juliana?
They've been incredible. I mean, to put them in the positions that we have and to have them rise to the challenge and to have them grow so much over the season and over with Angela over the several seasons she's been on the team, and the season that I was able to you know, meet her last year, it's just been phenomenal, and the amount of knowledge they soak up and buy in and really execute out on the field.
We'll let you get ready to start preparing for tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a very happy new year for you. Ari Jackson, congrats on the win tonight.
Thank you very much.
He's won a national title, and now he's in the title game again. And you watch this play develop, our Discraft play of the game. Malinowski resets and then takes off. and fakes to the right. Little S-cut, back to the other side. Tanel sees her, and Becky Malinowski does the rest.
Leila Tanel just puts that disc up, knowing that Malinowski is going to come down with it no matter how many Molly Brown defenders are around her. Just rips it out of the air with authority.
Brute Squad has a lot of unique players, and one of them is Becky Malinowski. Another one is Angela Zhu, who at just 20 years young continues to impress in her 3rd season with Brute Squad. Angela, tell us a little bit about how you started playing Ultimate. Who were your mentors, and how did you develop these skills to be playing like this on this stage?
Okay, I started playing in middle school at Amherst, playing in the IM leagues, and then trying out for the travel team and continuing into high school. And then from there, it's just like playing any Ultimate I got the opportunity to. As for my idols, I'm playing with a lot of them now. I mean, not eBay right now, but Amber and Soph and Dory and all of the Amherst names that I heard about growing up. It's pretty cool.
This is such a big deal, and yet you seem so calm and natural out there. Are you calm when you're out on the field, or are there some nerves?
No, I'm pretty calm on the field. My mind is totally blank, as it also is now. I think I get nerves before, but it's gone once I throw a disc.
How fun is it to play with your college teammate, Juliana Werfele, on another big stage after such a successful college season this year?
It's the best. She knows what I want, and I know what she wants. We don't have to talk about it.
Will you talk to Jacqueline Verjou tonight?
No.
What will it be like going against her, your current college teammate, and the rest of Seattle Riot? I imagine some of them might be your idols, too, in other ways. What's that going to be like tomorrow?
It's going to be really fun and really gritty.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight. It was fun to watch. Go get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's Angela Zhu, a star in the college game and already a star in the club game. Cassie Wong, though, is our 5 Ultimate Spirited Player of the game. Virtually unguardable deep, one of many players on Brute Squad that you could say that about, but the point stands for Cassie.
Yeah, there's no disc that is too far away or to be out of her reach. Her closing speed is unrivaled in the women's division.
Robin, quick thought on Riot Brute Squad coming up tomorrow.
I really like the matchup. Both teams are playing effectively, but after watching today, I think Riot has cleaned up a lot of those unforced turnovers, and I think that they're going to win tomorrow.
She's on the record. It would be Riot's first title in quite a while. Brute Squad trying to go back-to-back. 4 p.m. Eastern is the start of that one. That'll cap our triple header of championships, which begins at 11 a.m. Eastern time with Slow White and Metro North on Sunday morning. But for now, we say good night after a long day here in Rockford, Illinois. For Robin Wiseman, I am Evan Lepler. As Boston Brute Squad takes down Denver Molly Brown 14-9. Semifinal Saturday in the books. Championship Sunday is on tap. We'll see you tomorrow on ESPN 3. Good night, everybody.